Hey, Dan. It is, I guess the same day as I talked to you last time, February, but I am calling about something different this time. I am calling to give you a movie review. So Colleen and I went out on a father-daughter date night on Tuesday. And there's this movie I've been really wanting to see. So she and I went and saw Pride and Prejudice and Zombies. So, for starters, it was awesome. It was actually one of the best movies that I've seen in a long time. I mean, it was entertaining. I guess it had everything you want out of a good BBC period piece. Namely, really good acting. You had excellent acting. It was like, until the zombies came on, you wouldn't even have known that it wasn't a BBC, production of Pride and Prejudice. The acting was great. There were several actors in there British actors that I recognized. Interestingly, Natalie Portman was actually part of the production team, and she had originally got involved with the project because she had intended to be to take on the role of Elizabeth Bennet, but ended up not, and it was taken on by a woman named Lily James, who acted in was a part of the cast of Downton Abbey here a few seasons ago. Anyway, she was really, really good. The acting was great, and I thought they wove in the zombie apocalypse really well into the plot of Pride and Prejudice. So, if you're a Jane Austen fan at all, and I am, I'm a huge Jane Austen fan. I mean, I love her language. It just cracks me up. Then it was like everything you love about Pride and Prejudice and zombies. I mean, it was excellent. There's nothing quite like the opening ball scene where this is the first time that Elizabeth Bennet meets Mr. Darcy. And Mr. Darcy comes in, and Elizabeth Bennet, and he kind of shares some snarky comments. By the way, this is what do they call it? A reveal or you know what they call it in movies where you actually give away the plot. So this is one of those. So if you're going to go see Pride and Prejudice and Zombies, don't watch this. So anyway, so the opening scene, Mr. Darcy and Elizabeth Bennet meet, and then suddenly they're all dancing, and boom, a zombie shows up. And the next thing you know, you have that classic slow motion scene of a phalanx of Bennet sisters. So there's 5 of them, and they're essentially marching down onto the zombies, and they're all pulling knives out of their garters and swords out of somewhere, and they end up slashing and hacking through the zombies. It was awesome, and Mr. Darcy's like, "Whoa, this is the woman for me." And then later on in the movie, there's a scene where Mr. Darcy ends up releasing some flies because he's trying to figure out if Elizabeth's sister Jane is in fact already one of the undead. And Elizabeth ends up plucking the flies, boom, right out of the air as they're flying around, as she and Mr. Bennet Mr. Darcy are having an argument. And it is it is excellent. And then there's the scene where Mr. Darcy proposes to Elizabeth and ends up they end up fighting, right, in Pride and Prejudice. Well, in this one, they end up fighting, but with swords and knives. It was excellent, and actually Elizabeth's trying to kill him. It was really well done, very, very funny. So during this whole movie, Colleen and I are laughing, we're screaming because there's a lot of, there's several surprises in it. We applauded at the end. I mean, it was like a total audience participation movie. and we had a great time. And when we got home, Colleen asks if I have a copy of Pride and Prejudice, because now she wants to read Pride and Prejudice. So we went and saw Pride and Prejudice and Zombies, and now Colleen is reading Pride and Prejudice. So she's getting into Jane Austen. I mean, and Jane Austen's perfect for middle school and high school girls anyway. But there was one opening scene, and you can just catch it in one of the trailers, where this young lady runs up to the nursery to check on another girl, and this girl is like she's kneeling on the ground crying. Well, you realize she's not crying, she's eating, and she lifts up and then turns to the camera, and this half of her face is missing, and she ends up blowing this huge snot bubble out of this completely missing nostril, and it goes pop. I mean, it was like almost an audible pop, and it was just so funny and so perfect, juxtaposed against her beautiful little gown. It was great. Anyway, Colleen and I loved it. I highly recommend take Valentine's Day on Sunday. Take Sarah to see Pride and Prejudice and Zombies. You won't regret it. It's great. It's funny. It's entertaining. It's well acted. It's everything you want out of a movie. And it's romantic. And there's love in the end. There's love actually throughout the whole thing. Love triumphant. Of course, Mr. Darcy and Mrs. Bennet get together. I mean, and Elizabeth Bennet get together. Of course they would, because they do in the actual book. So, anyway, highly recommended. I give it 2 brains up, and I will no doubt talk to you when I talk to you.